Now we have learned how to generate a B scan and generate an A scan, but we just did it for one image. Suppose we have numerous amount of images and we want to generate them all. It's going to be very time consuming to change each of these variables, like the GPR distance, the GPR depth, and generate the images one by one. This is a very tedious process. So we're going to turn this into a function. We can open a new script. For example, we can call it GPR image generation. And we wanted to ask us for the B scan image array as the first input, the GPR distance, the GPR depth. What else do we have to give it? I think it's fine. So let's try. And we need to end the function. So let's save it. Remember, the name of the function should be exactly as the name of the file you save it as. Alternately, you can actually use the function in the live script, but MATLAB requires the functions to be at the bottom of the live script. But it's better to keep it in a separate file in the same directory. Okay. So let's open a new section here. Let's try to generate an image with the function. One thing that we can do, this is optional. We can actually tell MATLAB to recognize f as the same as the function that we just defined. Sometimes the name of the function can be long, so we can use this trick to shorten typing the name of the function. So we need to call the function. We should give it these 3 inputs. When we use empty brackets, that means that we do not have to assign an output variable here. For example, if we had an output, we should have done this. For example, R equals F of inputs. But we use empty brackets, so we don't have to go through that. So, for example, we want to load this image, scan 49. We load the image. And we determine the GPR distance. We can actually type it down like this and then assign the GPR distance to the function. So let's call the function. Our B scan is scan 49. Our distance is GPR distance. And our depth is GPR depth. As you can see, the image is generated. Now, alternately, you can comment this out. Just put the values here. Again, this was something we used just for the sake of simplification, but we can actually also generate the image using the original function name. So this is how we can turn this into a function for automation and time saving. Again, we can generate another image. For example, scan 51. Now I can see that scan 51 is also generated. But we can actually make it more advanced. The title says concrete wall, but the title is not concrete wall. The title has to change according to the name of the file that we just uploaded. So one way to do it is to use the input name function. Input name 1 tells MATLAB that the title should be the name of this file bscan, which in this case is scan 49, and in this case scan 51. So let's see what happens now. As you can see that the name is correct. Now we can also add the ascan to our function. So there's a problem here. Okay, we forgot to copy this one. As you can see, the scan is also illustrated here. Also, as you can see that the A cut is still 5, but it's not correct. We should have power over changing it, right? So we can add another variable called A cuts. Now, let's call the function again. By the way, you can close and clear your workspace and free up your memory by using close all, clear all function. And if you have anything open, you can close it with close all. So let's see if our code works. It says not enough input arguments. Now in the new function, we have to also determine the position of the ascan cut, for example, as 7 inches. So we have the bscan generated and we have the cross range cut at 7 inches. Again, if you don't want the ascan to be generated, you can actually remove this. And you can comment out this part if you don't want to use it. Now it's correct. So this is the way to write a function and automate your image generation process. But guys, we still there's something wrong here, because as you can see, all these images are the same. All right, the image is not changing as we wanted it to change. So let's go to the function again and see what's wrong. So these ones I commented out before. Okay, the titles are fixed, but this is still the same image. The problem is here. So in the function, we actually load the B-scan and assign it to the concrete wall. So this takes precedence over what I defined here, which is load this one, scan 49, scan 51. So we have to delete these. And also these lines, because we already assigned them here later. So this should be able to work. Okay, this is image 51. This is image I. And this is image 49. So now it is fixed. Now again, we can comment these in. So we can actually see the A scan also. Okay. We have the figure here. This is very important, or else it will use the same GCF handle as this and everything else, like the font size here and everything. So figure actually resets everything. So we're telling it it's a new plot. So let's see if we can see. Oh, we also have another parameter that we put out before, which is what? Which is the A cut, right? So we need to tell where we have to cut it for the A scan. So this is how you can play with the code, play with the function as much as you want. Not enough input arguments. Sure. We defined the A cut here, but we did not define it here. So for example, for this one, we want it at 20, right? 20 inches. Oh, this is your scan at 20 inches. 30. Again, at 30 inches. You can see the direct coupling, right, guys? Again, we want to change the code to the way it was. So I'm doing this again so you don't get confused. I'll use this. And we will comment all of these parts out. Alternately, guys, we can also do this. This is how I actually do it. You can either use these signs like this, or you can simply use the button here to comment it out. Now, did we comment it out? Yes, we did. We also removed the extra output. Now it's just going to give us the images. Again, if you want to reset everything, clear your workspace, you type